Hey, what's up, folks? This is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. Well, today's video is going to be all about the #1 secret of Bitcoin, in my opinion, and how you can use this secret to provide clarity and to help you make informed decisions, whether it be with Bitcoin, whether it be with the crypto market. So there's going to be a lot of important information that we go through in today's video. We're going to be looking at historical data. You know, I like to slice and dice data and see what kind of information I can glean from it. Well, I think I've got some really good stuff for you today, and you absolutely need to know this, especially with where we're at in the current bull run and the current cycle and where we could be headed into next year. So this should be a very important video. It's extremely important you watch it all the way through to the end, all right? So that being said, if you enjoy today's video, make sure to hit the like button. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content just like this. And now, let's get it going. So as I mentioned in the intro, the main focus of today's video is going to be looking into historical data, seeing what we can see in terms of patterns and what that may mean for the prediction of the future. So without any further delay, let's get into it. Now, what you can see here, this is a Bitcoin historical gain and loss chart by month created by me, all right? Now, what I did in this chart is I have color-coded it. So the positive months are green, the negative months are red. There's a few months that just sort of show up yellow. We can kind of disregard those. So really we're just looking at those green and red months. Now, if you look on the far left here, you can see that I've noted certain years as blue and certain years as red. What the blue indicates is that that was a year where a halving occurred. If you don't know what a halving is when it comes to Bitcoin, what we're talking about is that every 4 years, the rewards that the miners received are halved. They reduce every 4 years, so they're less and less and less over time. We note that in the chart on the blue. Now, also noted in the chart here, in the red years, these are the years that have been historically bad, okay? So, at the bottom of the chart, I've also got historical average per month, and then I noted the green years out of all the years that we have here. So you can see here, in terms of green versus red, it's very important, right? So first of all, as I mentioned, that Bitcoin halving occurs basically every 4 years. So it started in 2012. It continued in 2016. It happened again in 2020. It'll happen next time in 2024. Now, the best performing years are historically the years following a halving year. So in 2013, we had 9 green months, only 3 red. In 2017, we had 10 green months, only 2 red months. And in 2021, so far, we've had 5 green and 4 red, okay? Now, February and April have been historically green months, 8 out of 11 years. So those are typically pretty good months, February and April. April, May, October, and November historically post the highest gains. So that's also important, right? And where are we right now? We are in Uptober or October. Now, outside of that, the reddest months historically are March, August, and September, particularly March and September. Those months, I don't know what it is, but they suck just about every year. They're really not very good months, okay? So you can pretty much count on those as probably being a down month, whatever year we're in the cycle, okay? Now, the worst performing years are historically 2 years after halving, as I mentioned earlier. So in 2014, we had an overall loss of 58% over the course of that year. That's significant. That's more than half your investment you would lose that year, right? In 2018, we had a loss of 73%. Nearly 3/4 of your portfolio would have basically evaporated, right? So by all accounts, in 2022, we should be losing, if you just took a simple average here, 65 to 66% of your portfolio. If you hold it all, you will lose temporarily. Now, you're only going to lose it if you sell it, right? But temporarily, on paper, in your centralized exchange, in your wallet, wherever you're holding it, you would lose roughly 65, 66% on average, all right? Now, if this current bull run follows 2014, our last positive month would be January of 2022. Whereas if it follows the 2018 cycle, our last positive month will be December. Now, the rainbow chart, by all accounts that I've looked at and I've shared on this channel many times, makes it appear that we are following that 2012, 2013 bull run, okay? But just because it appears that way doesn't mean it's a guarantee. Now, the verdict is that the bull run will most likely end in either December of this year or January of next year, okay? Now, at that point in time, you're going to need to basically decide for yourself what you want to do, right? So now that we know that the bull run's going to end either at the end of this year or beginning of next year, what are you going to do? So your options could be, hodl all of your positions. You could sell all of your positions. Hodl some, sell the rest, right? Basically one thing that is a common theme that you hear from investors that have especially gone through the 2017, 2018 cycle is that many of them lost all of their gains, right? And they say that they're not going to let that happen this time around. That's kind of a recurring theme. I hear that on CT every day. I hear it on YouTube. I hear that nonstop, right? Now, personally, I don't think there's necessarily a one-size-fits-all strategy for this. So to give you an example, somebody like Michael Saylor, do you really think he's going to sell all of his Bitcoin? I don't know. Could he sell some of it? Maybe, if we know that the market's going to lose 60% of the value, does he really want to hold that? I don't know. It kind of depends. He's got a pretty significant Bitcoin holding, right? You think the Winklevoss twins are selling all their Bitcoin? I doubt it. Probably not, right? Now, ultimately, do you want to see your portfolio lose anywhere from 58 to 73% of the value? Probably not, right? So from a historical perspective, if we follow 2014, we may not have a rebound until May, followed by more down months. Whereas if we follow 2018, we may have a rebound either in April or July, and the rest of the year is going to stink. Now, just because 2022, by all accounts, will be a down year, does not mean that there won't be opportunities to significantly add to your positions through a DCA approach, that is dollar cost averaging. I personally really like it when the market's down, because then I'm buying things for cheap, and I just set those dollar cost averages going. I spend a little bit of money every day on whatever coins I'm looking at, and then I steadily acquire quite a lot. And eventually, when it goes back up, I have a substantial position. So there's definitely a huge opportunity when we're going into a down year next year, right? What you have to decide, though, is what you're going to do with everything that you've got right now from this year, okay? Now, in addition, by all accounts, it also appears, and this is a bit of a new thing, that the NFT market is not really phased or correlated with the daily ups and downs. So we're going to have that out there too. So that's still going to be in play. Now, it is important to remember that historically Bitcoin runs first, followed by Ethereum, followed by the mythical altcoin season, right? So the number one secret is that because Bitcoin is finite, and because we know the halving schedule, right? This is what Plan B was onto when he did stock to flow. The probability that the cycles repeat themselves is very high. And if you know where we are in the current cycle, you're going to be far more likely to make an informed decision. So think of this, in the very simplest terms. Would you get in your car if somebody spilled paint all over the windshield and start driving down the road? Probably not, because you know what? You're going to hit something. Maybe you stay in the road, maybe not, right? This is kind of the same thing. So you have to look at the historical data in order to know where we are and what's going to happen. Next year isn't going to be a good year. This year is going to be a great year, especially this fourth quarter. It's going to be fantastic, right? Now, you need to know that your risk is going to go up substantially the longer you're in the market. So that's kind of where we're at. That's the big secret here. The big secret is the historical data may tell what the future is going to hold, okay? By all accounts, it looks like it will, because Bitcoin is more like a commodity in the sense that it is a finite resource, we have a fixed supply, and we know when the halving schedule will occur. The three of those are absolutely key, okay? So, with that, we know we're gonna have a banging fourth quarter. Next year, who knows? We're probably not going to have a very good year next year, but there's definitely opportunity in the DCA and in NFTs. So still a lot going on in crypto, but very important that you know this so you can make an informed decision with whichever way you decide to go. And like I said, I don't really think there is a one-size-fits-all approach. I don't know if I would sell everything. Now, there are some certain coins that I hold that, yeah, maybe I will unload those. Maybe they take off, go on a run. Maybe I say, I got my money's worth, and now I'm getting out. I've heard other major influencers talk about this and say, yep, I'm selling everything, I'm done. I've heard others say, I'm going to start peeling it back, and I'm going to put it in stable coins. So there's plenty of options out there for you. You just need to know where we are, and the only way you can know that is if you look at the historical data, which sometimes isn't always easy to find, or it isn't always easy to dissect the information. So hopefully this video has opened your eyes a little bit to what's going on with Bitcoin, where it's headed, and what you can do about it. All right? So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget that I'm also on Twitter at KIR Finance, where you can find me tweeting and retweeting on a regular basis. Check me out there. And for a friendly reminder, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. And I will see you on the next one. Later.